Daniel Jones, Jonathan Taylor, Deforest Buckner, and the Indianapolis Colts host Cam Ward and the Tennessee Titans. The Colts look like they are the best team in the NFL. There is no doubt about that right now. A 6-1 record, a road win against a good Chargers football team. People wanted to talk about injuries. I want to talk about Daniel Jones' efficiency. I want to talk about Tyler Warren looks like one of the best tight ends in the NFL, just 7 games into his NFL career. And Jonathan Taylor looks like, if he's not the best back, he's right up there in the sense of the NFL. He's got my vote for best in the league, right up there with Christian McCaffrey. This defense, did they not play really fully to their standard against the Chargers? Absolutely. In the second half, the Chargers were able to put up 3 consecutive touchdown scoring drives, but they were one-dimensional. The Colts shut down the ground game. Except for Justin Herbert, the Colts limited the Chargers to 23 yards on 10 carries on the day for running backs, that is, except for Justin Herbert's production on the ground. He was relatively successful being able to make quick, decisive decisions, but he had an NFL or his career mark for passing yards in a game, 420 yards passing, but he had 55 attempts. So if you ask Colts fans, would you take giving up 420? They'd probably say no, but they're like, he's going to throw the ball 55 times and they only have 55 yards running? I'll probably take it. I think we'll win a game when they're that unbalanced. For the Colts, Daniel Jones continues to play at an MVP type level. He's been unbelievable. 2 touchdowns, no picks against the Chargers. Against Tennessee, what doesn't help the Titans is it looks like Jeffrey Simmons will be out once again. He missed last week against the New England Patriots, and boy, did it hurt him. 175 yards on the ground for the Tennessee Titan defense, giving up 5 yards a carry. Ramondre Stevenson having a lot of production. Drake May on the ground killing them a number of times. Daniel Jones, he hasn't been running as much as he was earlier in the season. Last week he had, 4 carries. I didn't really have any big gains, but he, I think, has a decent day on the ground against Tennessee. I think he's going to be a little bit more aggressive, taking what they give him. Tennessee can be stingy kind of good on the defensive side of the ball at times. It's just you lose a player like Jeffrey Simmons in the middle of that defense up front. It hurts you so much. It was tough for the Titans to watch Harold Landry for New England leave in the offseason. Actually, I don't think Harold Landry, he had like a crazy day. I think he had to sack, a tackle for loss in that one. But watching him have some production against you, your former player, obviously, Mike Vrabel, going to do it to you in your stadium in Nashville, a whole bunch of negative feelings, and then you don't have your head coach. He's obviously fired, and Mike McCoy's debut ruined. So we're really looking at a team that's in a bunch of turmoil right now for Tennessee. They just had their former coach come in there and blow them out. A young quarterback, a second-year quarterback, look awesome against them. Cam Ward didn't play bad. The guy just hasn't had time to throw the football all year. He sacked for 5 times, a lot of them for big losses. There's 0 ground game to speak of. I heard about Spears and Pollard all offseason, how this could be a good enough ground game. Offensive line has just been a little bit junk. 12 carries for 40 yards in this game. I'm not a math major, but I know that's less than 4 yards a carry. 12 carries, it should add up to 48 to get to 4 yards a carry. Indianapolis just looks like this is a game where they can handle them. What has Indianapolis done? They've gotten big leads early in games. They're not even competitive for the most part in the fourth quarter. Against LA, you were feeling like, all right, the Chargers have a shot here, but it really didn't feel like LA had a good enough chance to win that game. Felt like if the Colts needed a drive, if it got to a 1-score game, they could have just gone down the field like they had been doing throughout the entire day and on the season. Alec Pierce, how about the way he's played? Josh Downs doesn't play. He had the concussion, so he's not in the lineup. And then they've just have more production for Pierce. Tyler Warren, it's like every single game he gets 5-6 catches for 75 yards and a touchdown. That's just an average, typical stat line for him. Jonathan Taylor out of the backfield and Michael Pittman. This is turning into one of the more dynamic offenses. Those dogs up front, the offensive line play has been tremendous. They lost 2 starters on that front a season ago in Kelly and O'Neal, and they've been able to fill in very nicely. Look, Indianapolis is all of the pieces that are composing a team that will be dangerous in the postseason. First of all, you got to be near or at the top of your division. Jacksonville losing, that clearly helps Indianapolis, right? You're at the top of your division right now. You got to get that home playoff game, and if you can not be playing in the first round of the playoffs and get that first round bye, that helps even more. It is up really to Daniel Jones keeping up this trajectory. You know that the defense will be good enough throughout the season. I'm not too worried about all the yards that they gave up. If you have any quarterback, if Cam Ward throws the ball 55 times against the Colts, he's probably going to have over 320 yards. It's just a matter of drop back passing. Indianapolis would be very happy if that's the way the game goes. Frankly, I have a feeling that's sort of how it will. Mike McCoy, his squad is in a very tough spot here on the road. Lucas Oil Stadium is going to be on fire. How about the state of Indiana right now and their football programs? Indiana, the Hoosiers, are the second best team, second ranked team in the AP poll in college football. They could be number one right there with the Ohio State Buckeyes, beating Oregon on the road. They look like a great team. And then you've got the Colts, who look like, if they're not the best, they're the second best team in the NFL. Top two teams in college and the NFL. That has never happened. Definitely not in my lifetime, and probably not in your lifetime either. It's really a city, it's a state right now that's having a bunch of success, and a lot of that has to do with the quarterback position playing well. Those guys are the Hoosiers, Surratt and Cooper. There's some good players. With the Colts, they've got a very, very deep wide receiver core. Both teams are running the football well. For the Titans, how do you pull the upset in this game? How do you go on the road and win? It truly is somehow manufacturing a defense that stops the run. If you can stop Jonathan Taylor, if you can limit him to less than 4.5 yards a carry, then you have a chance. When he's gashing you for runs and they can run it for a first down on 3rd and 5 or 3rd and 6, and they run the football and pick up first downs, you got no shot to beat a team like that. Indianapolis is keeping it 3rd and short, and they're putting teams fully on their heels because you don't know what they're going to do. Is Jones going to keep off and run it? Is Taylor going to keep the ball and run? Are they going to Warren in the flat? Are they going to get the ball to Pierce? Are they going to take a shot? They have so many options because this team is picking up 5 yards on first down. They're picking up yards on second down. Most of the time, they're not getting to second down. Throughout that whole first half, you're watching this offense not even see that many third downs because they're just picking it up on the first 2 plays. So if you're Tennessee, they need to have early down success. That means first down, the yards per play need to be less than 5 yards in order to get the Colts into 2nd and 6, 2nd and 7. That way that they have a legitimate chance. Because if they're looking at 2nd and 3, 2nd and 2, you just already know that Indy's going to be dropping 40 points with the lack of rhythm as an offense right now with Cam Ward. This receiving core, frankly, hasn't been up to what I thought they could be this season. They look like a team that could have a Calvin Ridley come in here and be the star. Obviously, him not being available, that hurts you. Alec Manor, the rookie out of Stanford, they're trying to get him going. Gunnar Helm, the tight end out of Texas. They got some young players that do have bright trajectories. So we'll see Cam Ward throw the ball. That's what's fun, I guess, for Titans fans. In this one, it's like, how can they pull the upset? If Cam Ward plays out of his mind and he has a heck of a day, the problem is there's guys like Latu, the first defensive player taken in the draft 2 years ago. They've got Deforest Buckner playing like an absolute animal, hasn't lost a step still at this point in his career. He's incredible. Zaire Franklin, he's probably right up there with Devin Lloyd right now for one of the best linebackers in the AFC as well as the NFL. And then we'll see about Charvarius Ward. He also had the concussion like Josh Downs. So is he available? Do they need him in this game? The Tennessee receiving core doesn't quite scream Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnston, Ladd McConkey to you, right? They've got 3 or 4 wide receivers on the Chargers. Not to be negative about Tennessee. I apologize for Titans fans there. It can't be easy to hear these things about your team, but also like there's opportunities. This upcoming draft, there will be some good players to select. That's the thing about not being good is there are chances. They got a young core here. They're trying to rebuild it. They'll see who the next future coach is and they'll have the opportunities and they'll try and get things on the right track. But man, I'll just circle my man Deforest Buckner in the middle of that defense. I think he's going to have another sack, 2 sacks in this game against Cam Ward. Feel bad for him. The pressure coming up the middle is a completely different animal from off the edge, because up the middle, there's nowhere to go. If it's off the edge, sometimes you can step up in the pocket, you can get away, use your athleticism, but when it's right there in your face, you just don't have a shot. So I'm going to say that the Titans don't win this game. I like the Colts to cover. The spread is 14.5, but I absolutely still see it. I think that the Colts win this game 41-13 at home. Indy's playing such clean football. They're flying around on defense. The secondary, they'll see a better game this week, get a little bit more confidence for them. And this team looks great because they're led by arguably the best player in the NFL right now in Jonathan Taylor. Let me know down below in the comments, what do you think of the prediction? Does Tennessee have a shot? Am I being a little bit harsh on them? What do you want to see from the Colts? Where would you like to see improvement from them, if there is any that is necessary, except probably in the secondary this week? I appreciate you so much for watching this Blitz with Blender video. I'm Josh Blender. I make football, NFL, and college videos every day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.